Assalamu alaikum USA foodie members. This special recipe is dedicated to all our foodie members who are essential workers, who are nurses and doctors and don't have the time to prep or prepare the food like they used to during this time. They're working overtime, they're working very hard, and I thought that it would be really helpful to show a recipe that doesn't need a lot of preparation, or do need to stand by the pot to cook it. So this is slow cooker kheer shared by our very own Munazzah Ahmed. This recipe has been tried and tested several times on our group and is super simple. So for this recipe you will need half cup rice. It could be any rice, short or long grain, 8 cups of milk, 8 ounces of butter, 6 tablespoons of sugar or as per your taste, quarter teaspoon of cardamom powder, and there are optional ingredients like quarter cup of almonds that are slivered or cut in long slices, quarter cup raisins, or quarter cup dates. This is because we know that a lot of people have allergies. Some people don't like raisins in their kheer, so this is up to you to tweak it. You could do pistachios, you could do cashews, you could do whatever you want to do. And I'm going to post also a beautiful picture of this kheer taken by our very own Wajiha Babar, and she decorated the kheer on top with the nuts instead of putting it inside the kheer. So let's get started. I just wanted to show how I've assembled my ingredients here. So I have the elaichi powder that I ground. I have my rice that I washed and I rinsed and I did not soak it. You don't need to. I have 2 sticks of butter. I have sugar and I have my milk. I have my milk here. And I have some dates because I decided to put some dates in there. All right, so let's get started. So first comes first, I'm gonna add our half cup of rice. Then I'm gonna add 6 tablespoons of sugar. I'm not gonna change the recipe. I'm gonna keep it the same. Some people suggest adding condensed milk to get a more creamier texture. Like I said, a recipe is a recipe. When you change it, you make it your own. You do your own changes as per your wishes. It becomes better or you enhance it. But this recipe by itself is really good. I'm gonna add the butter in here. It is just so easy that on Eid, at night you want to go put some henna on, you don't want to be in the kitchen, or you have multiple dishes to cook and you really don't have the enough time to do everything prior to Eid. So this is something you can actually cook on the side in a slow cooker. And these days even the Instant Pot has that slow cook option, so you could set it to that option and cook it in the Instant Pot if you wish. So it's basically just put everything in there and you're done. So for the dates, I'm just gonna kind of break it apart in pieces. I'm not gonna put a lot. Just wanted. I like the chunks of dates coming in my mouth when I eat the kheer, so I'm just gonna put a couple just for myself. Yes, always think about yourself too, because you're special. I know we are always cooking for our families, but also think what you like, right? What you like to do. If you like particular nut in it, add it. Okay, and now comes the part where I add the milk. So we're gonna put 8 cups of milk. So the reason I did this because I wanted to show you that this half a gallon of milk is almost about 8 cups of milk. So I would rather just add all of it in here, but I'm gonna stick to the recipe and follow it to the point. I don't want to make any changes at all, but I have about a half a cup of milk remaining in this half gallon container, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, let's give this a good stir. That's all is there to this recipe, my friends, and then you are going to cover it with the lid, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to set it, set the temperature at. So this is how my temperature or the settings look like on my slow cooker. I really did not buy, I just bought the original crock-pot slow cooker, so I have like the basic setting. So I'm just gonna set it for 4 hours, but I'm also gonna put my timer on for 1 hour on my stove or my phone or whatever works for me. And I'm going to come back and check on it to give it a good stir, because the only thing about slow cooker is that, and especially these kind of recipes, is you want to make sure you stir the rice, because it could get stuck at the bottom and you don't want that to happen. So we're gonna come back after an hour, and I'm gonna go and stir the rice, and I'll tell you what happens next. So my dear foodies, after 4 hours of cooking this is how it will look like. It's nice and bubbly. Okay. So Munazzah had another tip for us. Look at all that nice beautiful malai. That if you think that this is not, it's very watery still, you could definitely add some corn flour to it, like you thicken other food items with corn flour. The same exact procedure. I'm gonna actually do this right now. So you see all this butter on top. I know you would be concerned about it. So what we're gonna do is I have my hand blender here, and I'm gonna just blend everything together so you can see how it changes. Careful with the hand blender because it could splatter on you. So you see how all the butter is mixed in with the milk? Alright, it already feels thick. Even the dates will get crushed in this. You have like small chunks here and there. So at this point, I'm just gonna leave it and I'm gonna let it cook further. I'm gonna let it cook for another hour or so on high. And then as I see that it starts to bubble, I'm gonna add corn flour slurry to it, so it gives us that nice creamy thick texture. And remember, this is for all my ladies who are who are working as essential workers, who are multitasking all the time, they have kids at home. You can actually prepare this, put it up in the morning, and then leave it leave it on the slow cooker, and then as you come back from work, it will be ready for you, ready to go. And all you need to do is chill this, and then you are ready to eat it. You can decorate it with nuts, which I'm going to do later to show you the final product. Ladies, the color in this video is not justifying how beautiful this kheer is. It's actually a nice caramel color. I don't know, maybe it's the lighting in my house, but it is just amazing. Look at this. I didn't even add the corn flour to it. So the total hours for this, let me clarify it one more time. 4 hours. Okay, out of that 1 hour, I told you after 1 hour on high, you are going to check it and you're gonna kind of give it a stir so the rice doesn't stick at the bottom. And then for the next 3 hours, you're gonna let it cook undisturbed. After 3 hours, I opened it, I used my hand blender and I very lightly blended it on top. Okay, and a little bit on the bottom. I don't want all the rice pieces to break. I want a little bit of those chunks of rice in my kheer. Right now, after that, after I did the hand blender, I covered it and I cooked it for another hour. It was nice and bubbling, and look at this beautiful, thick, amazing kheer that's ready. So now I'm gonna turn it off and I'm gonna let it cool, and we can dish it out and we can decorate it for serving. Now, if you are a working person and you are busy or you have other things to cook, you can start this in the morning and actually put it on the low setting. I have the low setting for 8 hours. Low setting for 8 hours. You can do that and you can just leave it. Okay, just leave it and forget about it for 8 hours. And then you can come back and check it if it's done after 8 hours. You remove it, let it cool, and it's ready to serve in the evening for your dawat. All right, so I'm gonna post a picture of how this looks once it's cooled down and I decorate it with garnishings. All right.